It is Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, guys. How you doing today? Hope you've had a Merry Christmas.
As I'm sure you can imagine, we are doing fan-freaking-tastic. Now, I have been working on this with you for 2 weeks. I declared the division was over, but now the math is done. It's officially clinched. How excited are you to be the NFC East champions?
Well, we're certainly. It was on the top of one of the top of the goals list in terms of what we needed to accomplish this year, and that was the first box you check. And it's hard to win in this league, very difficult, and to go out and win the NFC East and do it. Basically, I guess we mathematically clinched it with 3 games to play, but. Obviously we went out and took care of business. I think it shows you where this team's head is in terms of what they want to accomplish this year. The NFC East is great, but we know we got to finish strong. Certainly if we finish strong, we're going to give ourselves an opportunity to climb in the seeding business, if you will. And, if things were to fall right, you never know. You could get a first-round bye, but we just have to take one game at a time. Got a very obviously talented Arizona Cardinals team coming in who's hit a few bumps in the last couple of games, but they were basically playing at the highest level in the NFL for the first half to 3/4 of the season. So we'll have our work cut out for us. They need this win. We certainly need it as well. So it'll be almost like playoff football, if you will. So we're motivated to continue to peak at the right time. To get, all our ducks in a row, and here we come.
Stephen, was it a relief to see the way that this offense played last night after the way that it played in the previous 6 weeks?
It's more than anything, it was just satisfying to see those guys all, get out there together, execute, and, get their continuity right, get Dak working well. With all aspects of the offense, whether it was the receivers, the running backs, the tight end, and even steal the tackle. So it was great to see everybody in sync. Obviously, Kellen did a great job with the play calling. I think they were ready to go, and certainly a shot of confidence in their arm as we move forward. And just knowing that we could play at that level because we have this year. To see it come out was certainly happy for the offensive side of the ball to see him have that type of success.
How exciting was it to see an offensive lineman score a receiving touchdown?
Jerry's an old ex-offensive guard.
I know.
So that hold him down. I mean, he was fired up. He said, "Where was that play when I was in college?" But what a neat deal this guy. Steele, just all he does is take care of business week in and week out. And certainly great. I know the team responded in a big way for him, and we're fired up to see him do that. It looked pretty natural for him out there catching that ball, and great to see him score and see one of those offensive linemen get on the scoreboard was great.
I'm curious, take me through the Dan Quinn hire. What went into it? When did you know that he was the right guy for the job? Just take me through kind of the whole decision-making process on Dan Quinn.
Well, I just think, certainly Jerry and I had been having our own conversations, knowing that we were probably going to be having this conversation with Mike as we were winding down the year. And certainly his name came up. I serve on the competition committee with Rich McKay. Who knows him well in terms of, being with him in Atlanta and, felt like we could make the right, and have the right conversations if that was the direction we're going. And certainly Jerry and I just smiled ear to ear when we sat down with Mike for the first time. And, Mike said, "Hey, we're going to need to make a change at defensive coordinator." He said, top of my list is Dan Quinn. And, it was just like it was meant to be because certainly we were fired up about it. And, Dan was actually on the list, but he ended up didn't know if he was going to stay in Atlanta or not, but he did. And he was on the list as well of coaches we might want to interview if he, if he did get released from Atlanta, but they kept him. So, he's somebody who's been on the radar a little bit around here, but, just a great opportunity. And, he was fired up. He obviously, he can speak for himself, but I think he had a plethora of opportunities, if you will, to kind of pick his spot. And he was fired up about our place and what he could do here with Coach McCarthy. But it was just a great hire by Mike, and certainly he's made a big difference in terms of the way we're playing defense this year. And we got a lot of guys who who are playing on the defense this year that were on a very on a defense last year that struggled quite a bit, but back playing at a high level, and give Dan credit for that. But the other thing is just really his communication skills with Will, Jerry, and myself in terms of what type of player he needs, and Coach McCarthy, what kind of player he needs to have success with. And we were able to go out and, get some nice pickups in free agency. And then certainly with the defensive heavy draft, we're able to draft guys who've stepped up this year and made a difference.
I know we talk a lot about Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, obviously both being now, it looks like per the betting odds, top 3 candidates for Defensive Player of the Year. We talk about DeMarcus Lawrence. We talk about Randy Gregory. I was kind of hoping you could tell us about the impact of Jayron Kearse specifically, because not always the flashiest, but it feels like he's always involved in some sort of impactful play week after week.
Well, that was a great vision for him, and that's when, I go back to that communication, really having a lot of great communication skills with Will and our scouting staff and Jerry and myself and Coach McCarthy, as to what type of players, you feel like you need this day and time to be successful on defense in the NFL. Certainly a lot of teams have focused on tight ends and the mismatches they can bring to the table. And, you see a lot of them getting drafted high, and Kearse with his length and his coverage skills and his athletic ability really fit that mold. And, he's really come in and played a quasi/safety/Sam-type linebacker who's able to stay in on coverage because of his coverage skills, and can go in there and compete with these tight end mismatches, as well as, some of these bigger, longer, heavier receivers that we go against as well. So, he's really played that role to the nines, and certainly I think this day and time very important to have in terms of your matchups with opposing offenses.
Talking with Stephen Jones here, the Executive Vice President and Director of Player Personnel. And in that job, Stephen, you sort of have to navigate, both dynamics of the here and the now, but then also looking at the future of this franchise and the future direction and landscape. So you have to sort of balance those two things at once, the here and the now with the future. And so I'm going to ask you this question about the future at left tackle. You've got a future Hall of Famer there who's still playing at an extremely high level, but does have injury issues and has been able to finish out a season over the last 5 years. So how do you, as you evaluate the future of the left tackle position, how do you weigh that with the guy you currently have there, but the knowledge that it's hard for him to stay healthy for 16 or now 17 games?
Well, right now we're so focused on this year. And the great news is, Phil, it's very optimistic that Tyron's going to be back against the Cardinals. Certainly his injury this year that he's been fighting with his ankle has nothing to do with past injuries. And, it's a part of the game, these injuries. And sometimes you go on a run where you're fortunate and you're able to play consecutive games, consecutive seasons, and other times it seems to bite you. But right now we're so fired up that Tyron's going to be back against Arizona. He brings so much to the table in terms of solidifying that left side, giving Dak confidence to, step up in the pocket and make the throws that he needs to make. And to have him back is going to really be a great addition back with this offensive line that I think can only help improve us. As far as anything to do with our future, we'll certainly address that when the season's over. We'll have plenty of time to work through all that. But right now we're just focused on trying to beat the Arizona Cardinals and, have fighting for a championship here and feel like we've got a team that can do that.
I know it can be a little trickier to figure out with COVID, but are you hopeful or anticipating that Jordan Lewis can be ready to roll versus Arizona as well?
A little early in the game, but so far, I'm sure everybody reads about the different variants that are out there, but it seems like the current variant, the Omicron, is certainly one that's not not holding people out as long. We're having players really come back with a negative test a lot quicker than they did originally when they were getting COVID. So. Feel like, there's a great opportunity that we could get Jordan back for this game, but we'll just have to see. Certainly, not in the building yet, but we'll see what the coming, 2, 3, 4, 5 days bring, and hopefully, he'll do what he needs to do to get ready to play. So we'll just see how that goes.
I know you probably have more pressing concerns during the game. I don't know if anyone brought it to your attention, and if they haven't, I would like to bring it to your attention. Did you see that in the first quarter, it appeared as though Dak Prescott called an audible by repeatedly saying, Steven, Steven. Did you hear about that?
I haven't heard about that yet. I don't know that I heard it in practice, although there's so much noise going on in practice when the offense is out there. It's hard to hear a lot of anything, but no, I hadn't heard the Steven audible.
Well,
I hope it was a good play.
Well, here's the thing, and I think it could have been a good play. It just didn't work out. It was on that drive that ended a couple plays later in the first touchdown of the game, but it was the botched handoff between Dak and Zeke. So I believe it could have been a good play. It's just the word we like, execution, wasn't quite there. So don't be discouraged by that.
Well, hopefully we won't take it out of the book, and hopefully we'll run the Steven audible again, and it'll be a positive play.
How jarring is it? I mean, I know it had been building all game, but by the time you get to the end of the game, or quite frankly, 2 plays into the fourth quarter, how jarring is it to see 56 points on the scoreboard?
Well, it's you want to enjoy the moment because you don't see it often, and certainly, just like last night, everything fell right. The stars aligned. The offense was playing at the top of its game, defense playing at the top of its game, and certainly our special teams stepping up, making a score. Everything came together, and certainly, we have a lot of respect. For the Washington football team organization, but it was our night, and it was certainly we enjoyed the moment to look up there and see, that we had scored 56 points, and on the flip side of that, it really, for the most part, shut down the Washington's offense. So it was a big night, and certainly we enjoyed it last night, but we got to put it in the rearview mirror and get ready for the Cardinals.
Steven, it's been 25 years since this organization has hoisted a Super Bowl championship trophy, 25 years since this team's played for an NFC title. Is this the best version of the Cowboys in those 25 years?
Well, we've certainly, it's got to be right there. But, we've had some good versions along the way with Coach Parcells and Tony and that run he had, certainly with Wade, with Jason. We've had some good football teams that we didn't quite win the games we needed to win. So hopefully, with this version, we can step up and feel good about this group. They seem to enjoy to play together. They have each other's back. We have good depth here when we do have some adversity, just like we did last week, losing Hooker and Jordan Lewis at the last second. Guys stepped up, having our second-round pick step up, and Joseph step up and make some big plays for us. Brown, being the ultimate team guy, moves inside, AB does, and really plays that nickel well. So, that's kind of been the mantra this year. And I just feel like this is a great group of guys that love to play together. We got great leadership, starting with Dak. I think Coach McCarthy certainly has been really good with this team in terms of keeping them fresh, keeping them healthy for the most part, and keeping our team in the right frame of mind. I just think we've got good chemistry right now, and we've got a great opportunity here in front of us. But we have to have urgency. We have to take this one game at a time and take advantage of opportunities, which this team seems to do for the most part this year.
Really appreciate the time, Steven. Obviously, congratulations on winning the division, and congratulations on absolutely dismantling Washington yesterday.
Well, appreciate it, and hope you guys have a happy New Year's, and look forward to visiting with you next week.